I knew it. We are live. How you guys doing tonight? How you doing, Rob? How you doing, Zach?
I am excellent, sir.
Hello, everybody.
We got a special guest tonight, and we're going to say hello to everybody in the chat, but we'll do that a little bit later. I don't want to hold them up. You guys, we got a guy that knows a lot about detectors. He might be able to answer, well, he'll be able to answer questions for sure, but hopefully he can give you guys some insight on some of this stuff. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and maybe he can help us out. So let's bring up Brian from Southern Relics Adventures. We call him the Teach. He is a history teacher. So come on up, Brian.
I didn't know he was a history teacher, actually.
Yeah.
Yes. What do you think, Rob? I'm a history teacher.
Well, that's what I majored in college. I majored in history with minor in political science.
Yeah, well, I majored in history with a minor in geography, Rob. So how about that?
There we go.
and I'm teaching school.
They just call me Minardo. So
Yeah.
With good reason there, pal.
yeah, well, that is true.
Well, super excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you here, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to say hello to some people in chat real quick. The Old Pelon, My Muddy Mess, DK, James the Beard, Scotty Aquati,
Relic Reaper, hello.
Little Petty Coins, Captain Vic, Cajun.
Howdy Yodi.
Hey,
Brian
Torchy,
Olivier,
Mr. Chuck Owens.
Joe the Bad Idea Lab.
Hey, Neil, Digging Louisiana.
There's Miss Robin out of Canada.
There's this guy. Hello, Brad.
Hi, Brad.
I'll fit into Brad, my honey
Brad, I'm
partner.
looking for a room. I think you get the sofa, sir. Howdy Cajun Way.
Gregory Gibson.
Flying Arrow, Joe.
Hello, digging dude. Looks like we got a couple of New York people in here. I'd assume Southern Relic brought those over. No.
Yeah, I've got the New York connection.
The crew is good tonight, Cajun Way. Howdy, Greg, AU Diver.
Yodi. Oh, this is going to be impossible. Hey, Jared.
Cajun says, the rain's been bad, but no snow. In the water, in the Gulf of Mexico today, good people, on January 10th.
Yeah, how did you do, sir?
Hello, you New York Relic.
Me and Denise K got 3 pieces of jewelry.
There you go. Still there. Hi, Risha. Hashtag Team Beard.
Howdy, James. Howdy,
Team
Mr.
Beard.
Beard. Team Risha.
Mr. Nick Molnar.
He had to go.
What happened to Minardo? Where's he
Wow,
going?
Risha, they're dishing you that bad, Risha.
It's not that we're putting Risha down. We just want to give the glory to Team Beard.
I believe Miss Risha's the ones with all the fines lately. I'm sticking up for you, Risha.
Mm-hmm.
She was expertly guided by the masterful hands of Team Beard.
That's right. That's right.
Wow, we ought to just cut and clip that one. The masterful hands. We need to use that in a clip somewhere.
Hey, he guided
Jesse
them to
Hardy.
the best finds in a safe and repeatable fashion.
Look,
All
Beard
right,
was
yep,
tapping on
that's
that
what
one.
this phone.
Hello, Tully. Hello, Brad.
Bill Stir, how we doing, Bill? Hope you're feeling
Michael
good.
Workman.
Freezing here, Molnar. It'll be gone next week.
Michael
Jay
Workman,
Paul.
good evening, Mr. Workman.
I'm
All
so
right,
used
Joe, what's going on, brother?
I'm so used to looking at the chat and looking at all the names and the comments, and I'm like watching it, like from my live stream. I
You see,
almost have
Rob is
PTSD.
bad every single time. He's probably about 5 minutes behind right now. Charlie's a wild card. He might give up and just go to the 10. Okay, Charlie's a wild card. He might give up and go to the front, or he might be behind Rob. I
Yeah.
stay on live chat, so if I miss what you say, I just don't care. We'll catch it
Howdy.
Hi, Amanda.
we'll catch it when Rob
Good
highlights
evening,
it.
Scotty Aquati. Hello, Miss Amanda. Howdy, Don.
I just don't care. Oh,
You can't
boy.
keep up.
Love this guy.
Right.
Getting there,
I
though.
see,
I'm feeling like the
I
same
see a
20
couple of
people,
familiar
so they're all
names
saying
from
hi to
our
each other, so I can scroll right
channel
through
too.
that. Gregory
Yep.
Gibson.
Grandma Kate. Yeah.
There's Miss Grandma
We do have
Kate.
some folks here that are over there.
Yeah.
There's Miss Leanne. Good evening, Miss Leanne.
Oh, Deb Melvin.
Leapfrogging
Deb.
now. Greg Alldiver 79. How are you, my friend?
Allie Olden. There's Pat Paul. Good evening, Pat Paul.
Hey, Roger Dirt Devil.
Pat Paul said hey to me. I saw NC Relic Hunters in here. Surfside Dan was in here. Digging
Howdy,
Dudes
NC.
in here. So glad.
Oh,
shout
no.
out to those guys. 5 Mile Relic Hunter. Glad to have him in
Welcome,
here.
you guys.
Gold painting Dutchy Jocko. Good evening, sir. From Amsterdam.
Jocko.
Mr. Minix.
My girl Bells is in the house. Glad to have Bells here with us
Hey,
tonight.
Bells. Bells is awesome.
5 Mile. Yes, you are in the right place for the party, sir.
Yeah. Rocky Mountain Prospector, also one of our regulars. Appreciate him being here tonight.
5 Miles starting off the questioning here tonight, and I can't help but feel like this is a dig at a couple of our panel members.
There's Dirt Devil Detective. Glad to have him in here tonight.
Just because I said he was the best smelling man I ever smelled, I'll never hear
I don't know why you would even
No,
say
you
that.
won't. That's one of those stories I wouldn't tell my friends.
Nope. Happy Bears, Brian.
Howdy digging, dude.
There we
Well, I
go.
couldn't tell my friends this, Zach, when I was playing poker. Who could I tell? But yeah, the poker guys never let me forget that either. So
They still tell stories about it, I assure you. We were playing one night with this guy, and he came in talking about how Michael Jackson smelled her.
Native Angles, how's it going?
Hello to Michael Workman. He's in here. Brian Olier's in here. Glad to have him in here with us tonight.
Surfside Dan, welcome. New name,
Yes.
but welcome to the chat, sir.
Digging dude. Well, they're over from Brian's channel.
Nice. And there's NC, welcome. We want to make everybody feel welcome.
Mhm.
Well, except Angie.
Well, yeah, everybody got hurt.
Wow.
Howdy,
I
Bill.
say it, Angie.
That was for Charlie because I knew Charlie would have got to it eventually. So
What's that?
saying everybody hi to everybody except Angie. So
Look what Brad put already.
what do you
I
put?
highlighted that about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, was
Howdy,
it?
Kyle.
Did you already put that up?
Yeah, about 10 minutes ago. It was up there for about 5 minutes. You didn't notice.
Ronnie.
Howdy, Ronnie. Mr.
We already
Tully,
got
Mr. Minnick.
72 folks here, guys.
See, look, see,
That's
I'm
good.
getting some love here. I'm getting some love here.
There's Michael, NC Relic Hunter. Now, how tall is Michael?
Michael is 6'7".
Good night. I thought you were doing some kind of editing with that camera.
No, that's how tall he is. I look like a little kid next to him. I'm 5'7" and he's 6'7". So you can imagine what
That's the way
like.
Charlie and I look next to Gene and his son.
Yeah.
We look like a couple of hobbits next to Gene and his son. When we're all sitting at Arby's that day having lunch, and we were all sitting down, we looked the same. And then we took the one picture to leave, and it was like the camera stopped here with Gene and his son, and there's Charlie and I down there at the bottom.
Well, Rob, they were doing their roundup at the tailgate, and they were talking, and Michael was off to the side, and Brian came over, and he's like showing the finds, and I was looking, I was like, how did he do that with the camera? Because you look like this. It's like,
No, that's not a camera trick.
Howdy, Mr.
Mr.
Jeremy.
Jim Steele.
You know, you can understand why a guy of that height would want to metal detect with you guys. Every time you come up to show him a find, it's like a kid. Look what I found! I got me a gummy bear.
The real.
So Michael's
Tom.
super
Good evening,
soft spoken.
Tom.
I mean, he's just a really cool guy, but I had no idea that he was that tall.
Oh yeah,
Howdy,
well,
Jim Steele.
his
Welcome, Jim
son
Steele.
is 6'6". So
Wow.
yeah. Michael
See,
said I'm a
I'm
hobbit.
with you. I'm with you, Brian. I'm 5'7", but I've got two cousins, my father's brother's cousins, that are 6'4" and 6'3". So I don't know what the hell happened to me. So
Yeah.
howdy, Ficus.
Mr. Totally
Well,
loves his friends.
You know, we call Michael Sasquatch. You know that, right?
I did not know that.
Yeah. If you watch the live stream enough,
Howdy, Deb Melvin.
you'll see they call him Sasquatch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, not to his face, though.
Oh, yeah. We call him Sasquatch to his face.
Howdy, my muddy mess. Ann. Good evening, Ann.
I used to have a friend that tall. I had all kinds of names for him.
Yeah.
Jolly Green. He didn't like. He looked like Vlad from the Rocky Russian movies. So I'd always call him Vlad, and that pissed him off every time. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Good evening, Show Me Treasure. Howdy, Digging Daryl. Welcome.
Yeah, Digging Daryl's in here. Appreciate
Mhm.
Digging Daryl joining in. He's
Miss
He's,
Shoe Devil
um,
Tommy's here. Evening, Tommy. There's
Hey,
Certified
Tom
Dan.
Cheeto.
Yeah, it's great having these new names. Charlie, we had 80 people here a second ago.
I know, it's crazy. And we just started.
Howdy,
yeah.
Silver Wishes. She won a giveaway the other day.
Mm-hmm. She won twice, I think.
She went on somebody else's stream I was on
Oh,
yesterday.
really?
The day before.
Maple Leaf
Howdy, Show Me Treasure.
Numismatics.
Maple Leaf. Good evening, Maple Leaf.
Hey, Cam, check your email there, sir.
Howdy, Cam. Yeah, NC. When the stream starts here, it's tough to keep up.
Yeah. Great having Digging Daryl here.
Yeah, Digging Daryl's an
Outside
awesome,
Dan,
awesome
Mike.
guy.
Michael,
Howdy,
yeah,
that's-
having all your guys over here, that is awesome.
Yeah, they came. I posted it. And those guys are pretty. We just have an awesome audience that shows up.
There is Miss Hacienda.
The Bud Files.
Evening, Bud Files.
What's happening, J. Paul?
Howdy, Jay.
There's Iron Antler
Mr.
Adventures.
Hey,
Yep,
Charlie.
here.
I mean, hey, Charlie and kids.
Hey,
Good to see
Dennis.
you, Dennis. Oh, Jeremy's coming to FH11, I guess. 2 more weeks, and he says I get to meet a lot of you all.
Nice.
Good
Hey,
deal, Jeremy.
Greg Yankee down south. I think we need to have him up next week and talk about the event there.
Yeah, if he's got the time, Charlie, that'd be great.
What event is that, Charlie?
We have a Florida Hunt event. It's for the Wounded Warrior program.
Oh, okay.
411.
That's really cool. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So it's every year.
No, Chuck. No, Chuck. The doctor didn't say I was 5'3". The hospital employee that weighed me and did my height said I was 5'3", and I know she's full of shit. Okay,
Yeah.
I just had it calibrated. Well, you had it calibrated wrong.
Yeah,
I have a buddy who's 5'3", and I tower him. She goes, "Well, he isn't 5'3", and I'm like, "We're not going to go into this."
she needs
How
to
you
get
doing,
it right,
Lance?
Rob. That's 5'3.5" all day long.
That's right, sir.
Yeah.
Marty B.
If Yankee Down South Adventures wants to send me a link or something that I can put up on my channel, I'll be glad to share that with
cool.
our audience as well.
I don't know. He's got a Facebook page. It's called Florida Hunt Events, and that's where we generally go for all the info on that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be glad to throw that up there because, again, I get people all the time. Hey, I'm looking for something to go to. So, yeah, I would love to be able to share.
But
that.
unfortunately, Larry, I don't need a stool to mount up the deer because I don't mount deer, sir.
What's happening, Larry?
That's
Hey,
the other
Sam.
guy.
You guys are horrible. I want to get some questions here, so I'm going down to the bottom here. All right. If I miss you, I'm sorry.
Ruskin's down there with Tom Riley. Dennis.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. I appreciate everyone saying hello to me. Some
Yep,
of these
absolutely.
guys I
Appreciate
don't
you guys
know.
coming by.
Marty V
And,
in the house. That is true, Grandma Kelly, and that is what's happening.
If that's the story you
Thank
want
you,
to
Amanda, and I thought I liked you, Amanda. Oh, excellent, Jeremy.
Brian, quick question. Well, one of the questions, how long have you been detecting now?
I started detecting in 2011. So, 2011.
Brian, he put the link up for you, Brian.
Oh, okay, great.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, I started detecting in 2011, and I started off just like the majority of us, probably a Garrett Ace 250, and then went to an AT Pro, and I ran that AT Pro for a while, and then I went over to a E-Track, a MindLab E-Track. I used that for a while, and then I ended up with XP. I ended up with a Deus One, and that was in 2016. I've been running XP products.
So the Deus One's been out since 16?
Well, no, it's been out since 2011 or 2010. So
I didn't know that.
yeah, that machine's been around for a while, and it still does the job.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Cajun says his first was an Ace 250. I think a lot of people had the Ace 250. That was before my time. when I first got on YouTube in 2018, started watching YouTube metal technique videos, probably 90% of the channels on YouTube had the AT Pro.
Yeah. And I used the AT Pro. I found my first silver coins were found with an AT Pro. So yeah, it's that Garrett machine was solid machine. But I when I got on, the reason why I went to XP was because I bought that MindLab E-Track, and it was killing me. It was wearing my elbow down.
Yeah, that thing weighs like a brick, right?
It's heavy. It's a heavy machine, and so
Jeremy handed it to me one day, and I almost dropped it.
Yeah, it's just a heavy machine. It was hard on my elbow, and it took me almost 2 years to recover from my elbow being messed up from swinging that machine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it really did a number on me, and that thing is heavy. It is heavy.
Good evening, old timer 5037. Welcome to the stream.
That detector actually caused you damage.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Charlie, that Jeremy took it to Clearwater Beach one time.
Yeah, digging up to Carolina said 2009, 2000.
Running circles around me.
I was thinking 2010, but he said 2009, so he could be right.
He went to hand it to me, and I almost dropped it. It's like 8 pounds.
Could you imagine? I can't know how you guys did that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you look at a MindLab now with the carbon fiber shaft. They're like 2.6 pounds with the carbon fiber shaft and a little coil.
Yeah, the Deus is something. I mean, you take the RC thing off, and it's a stick.
Yeah,
there's nothing.
Yeah, well, you can take that remote and stick it in your pocket. You know,
yeah. Show me just got the Deus 2. Congratulations, show me.
Yeah.
But the Deus 2, when it came out, I mean, it's been really sort of my primary machine. I swing a lot of machines, which we were talking about that before the show. I mean, I've got most of the major ones that a lot of people use. I've got an Xterra Pro, I've got an Xterra Elite, I have a triple score, I have a Legend, I have an Equinox 900, I have a Manicore.
I need to have Denise listen to these streams because she's wondering why I need a Fort detector.
Yeah.
Most of these guys on these streams are in double digits.
Yeah. Well, I'm sitting over here looking. I've even got a MindLab Vanquish too, a 540 that I used for a while too. And I mean, they're all good machines. And one thing that, one thing that we really sort of talk about on our channel is that, go out and learn your machine, go out and have fun with it. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you don't have a $1,200 machine. That doesn't mean that you can't be successful with whatever machine you have if you know it and understand it, so don't let anybody tell you that your machine is garbage and their machine is better. There's just not a such thing.
Yeah. And we say it a lot here. What's the best machine? The one you get to know and the one you use the best.
Exactly, Rob. You're exactly right. And I try to reinforce that. What is the percentage of fines that you might get with a more expensive machine? I guarantee that percentage is like that. It's so minuscule.
Well, and I'm glad you bring that up because everybody's telling me. I was debating between buying, because my warranty on my Knox goes off in March. So I'm not going to take a Knox in the water without having a warranty because they get wet. And so I'm debating between buying a 900, and everybody says, no, you need to go with the Manicore for a few $100 more. But yet in Florida, we don't have foot and a half deep targets here in Florida. We just don't. We're not an old enough state to have them. And there is a couple fields I could probably maybe eke something out if I was able to go another 2-3 inches lower. But I have to make that decision on whether I want to spend the money for those few extra, few extra items like you just said. Charge, JP.
Right, Rob. And again, I sort of equate it because I used to play a lot of golf when I was younger, and there was a gentleman that used to come in my pro shop, and one of the things that he would always do is he would pick up the latest and greatest drivers, and this is when the big-headed drivers came out, and he would go out there and he would swing it and hit it into the net, and then he would finally look over at me, and I'd say, well, have you decided which driver you're going to get? And he would say, son, he says, I just got one thing I want to tell you. He says, it's not the arrow, it's the Indian. And that has stuck with me for my entire life, because And I look at
I like that. I've never heard that one. I'm going to use that one.
Yeah. And he, he would come in and he would always say, and then you go out and play golf with this guy. And he was still using persimmon head clubs. He was using bladed clubs, bladed irons, and he would beat your brains out just because he knew how to use those clubs.
I guarantee you hear those two statements you just made. Nobody here that doesn't golf knows exactly what the hell you said. I do, because I used to golf. Until I tell you, Brian, the similarities of us is scary. I was on my golf team in high school for 4 years. I played golf my entire adult life until the day I picked up a metal detector.
Yeah.
And my poor golf clubs are sitting in the corner with cobwebs. I haven't played a round of golf since I started metal detecting. Right.
Yeah. It's just, and I can make a lot of comparisons. And of course, the other thing, and I think I've told you guys this, I'm also a coach. I was a coach was a coach. I retired last year from coaching. I didn't coach our golf team. Believe it or not, I coached our running team. I ran track and field and cross country in college. And so, there's so many things that I could come up with, that sort of relate to what we do here. And so, yeah, I really, really, really love this hobby. And, I think some people just get so bogged down in the machines and not going out and just actually learning the machine and just enjoying the hobby, enjoying what you got.
That's I will tell you this right now. I'm having to relearn my knocks after a year and a quarter not detecting. I got to relearn my knocks. I've forgotten half the stuff.
Yeah, well, and it's easy to do, but the funny thing is right now is that we've got so many machines out there that are just so good, you're not really missing out on much, even with a mid-tier machine, even with a lower tiered machine in some cases.
I think a basic simplex now for $269 or whatever they are, and your basic Xterra, I think are better $230 machines than they had 20 years ago. You couldn't get the machine with the quality you have now for
this machine right here. I've seen people go out on the beach. I had one guy that shops at LMS Metal Detecting, who's a sponsor of us, but he went out and he rented one of these machines and came back and says, I want to buy this machine, because he found 2 gold rings that day renting this machine. And this is an Xterra Pro. This is a $259 machine.
Right. Yep.
Now I've got a question for you. One of the detectors of the community here has never found something that it seems like everybody else finds nearly daily. Do you think that the lack of knowledge on your machine would possibly stop you from finding a V-nickel or something of that nature?
Well, it really all depends on the sites that you're hunting. How you set those machines up and how you actually learn how to run. Are you talking about Charlie?
You better find one soon, because if not, it's going to be on his tombstone. Okay.
Charlie, you still haven't found a V-nickel yet.
It's still
that was a running joke the last time I was with you guys and we were all together on the show.
It's been a running joke for the last 5 years.
Yeah. Hey, but and I know we're laughing about it, but Charlie, I went for, like I said, I started in 2011. I didn't dig my first large scent until 2018, maybe.
See, and I don't have a largie, and I've been doing this for 9 years because we just don't.
But Rob, it really,
to get a largie.
You got to be on the right sites for those things. I mean, that's just. I mean, I'm just going to say it. You got to be on the right sites for those things.
Have you? I got a
Brian. My theory is metal detection is the exact same as real estate. It all goes down to location.
Yeah, and that's true. But the thing that kind of gets me is like I taught. Well, Brad started coming along with me when I was metal detecting, and he didn't have a detector. And then now this guy just crushes it. I mean, he's finding stuff like, and he doesn't have a bucket list, right? I'm like, oh, that's on my bucket list. He goes, oh yeah, that was on mine too.
Yeah. Your bucket list is his bucket list.
That's right.
Right?
So now I don't even tell him what I'm looking for anymore. But what you said, you made a good point though. when I got the DS2, the first thing I did, instead of learning the machine, now I'm learning. Now I stopped everything and just like undid everything because I had downloaded all these programs, these custom programs, just going on YouTube, and I download everybody's programs, and I was running with them.
Right.
But the problem was I never learned the machine.
Right.
Right. So I just grabbed their program, went out and ran with it, and thought that's good enough. That's all I need to do. And there's so much more you can do. And it was good for those people's conditions or your conditions wherever you're at in your hunting.
Right.
But your condition and my conditions are going to be different. Right?
Well, and Charlie, you brought up another thing too, that, a program is good, just like what you just said. The program might work for me in my area, okay, but it might not work in your area. The conditions could be totally different. That's why, I sort of encourage people, if they want to use what I'm using, that's fine. I don't mind. But what I'm saying is, once you go out there, then maybe tweak it, adjust it to your sites, to make it where you can run it the way that you want to run it. Because again, I don't know what you're looking for. And I'm basically just a relic hunter. I'll go out on the beach occasionally. Usually when I go out on the beach, I hate to say this, but usually when I go out on the beach, I'm bored. I don't have any. I don't have any other side.
You're not offending me, Brian, because first off, let me say hi to Billy Sellers. He's new here, first time looking in. Welcome, Billy. No, because my digging partner Dalton, who loves finding old stuff.
Right.
I took him to the beach one time, and same thing. He goes, Rob, I don't want to do that again. He wants to find old stuff.
Yeah, I did too. Well, again, I love history. History is my passion. And I want to go out and, I went out in 98, 95 degree weather and went relic hunting. And a lot of people won't do that.
And we do that here in Florida. But when it's 110 out there, it's awful nice going to the beach and cooling down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I get it. Around here, most of the beach hunters go at night.
Dan, I'm not far from those two locations. And most islands you can hunt and nobody's going to bother you. Even if it's a state park. Like we have a state park in Dunedin, and even though it's a state park, most beaches and water are allowed under Florida law and Florida rules. So I've even found a few national parks, and when I first started detecting, everybody said national parks, federal parks are off. But I found a park that was run by the Army Corps of Engineers, and I talked to the security guy at the gate, and he said, "Yeah, we have certain times and restrictions." But yeah, you can metal detect here, and that was a national park. So don't let anybody tell you that there's a blanket. You got to check on every single place. But yeah, Sanibel. Evening, Ray. Sanibel is in Captiva, I believe, are good. I'm going to double check that though while the room is talking here.
Yeah, right. And Rob does get out there, Dan, as well. So I know he knows those areas really well.
So you're not much onto the beach, huh? That's kind of not your thing?
Well, I mean, I'll go. Surfside Dan, who's on here right now, he's a big time beach hunter. I'll go with him occasionally. Sometimes I'll go with LMS metal detecting. I'll go with him occasionally too. But I'm just a relic hunter, guys. I hate to say it. That's my passion, and that's where my blood's at. And I live in, a very historical area, so I want to go out and find history.
Yeah, that's pretty neat that you guys are able to do that.
I just double-checked Sanibel Island. Beaches are good all the way up to the dunes. Obviously, in the state of Florida, you can't do any dunes. But, yeah, you can do the whole public beach and the dry sand up to the dunes. So you're good to go there, person asking for Sanibel Island.
And I know a lot of people, we're talking about the Deus too, but I know a lot of people are waiting on these. These are the new ST stereo headphones. And so these are going to be interesting. We're still sort of, let me show that again, but we're still sort of waiting before we can actually sort of talk about the information that goes along with this.
Are you a rep for them, Brian?
I'm not a rep. I just communicate with them. Let's just put it that way. They've always been really generous to me. They understand that I use their equipment. But I talked to Mind Lab. I talked to Nocta. I talked to Garrett. I talked to all four of the major companies. So, but I'm always willing to help because there's somebody on my channel that uses those machines.
Yeah.
And so any information or anything that I can do to help someone to get them more proficient with their machine, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Digging Dude, we don't have that kind of stuff down here, Digging Dude. We would love to have old fields and parks, and like I've watched some of these New York guys dig all these stuff out of them. But we just don't. I mean, we're on that 1860s field of Dalton, and if we find a Civil War era button, it's a big thing for us. You know, we find a 3-ringer. People are like, oh, I got 50 3-ringers. Well, you don't freaking live in Florida, okay? We don't get three. You find a 3-ringer. I found a 1-ringer last 2 weeks ago, and I was excited to hell to have that because we just don't have that type of you to find 1860s ground here in Florida that you can still hunt is extremely rare.
Yes. Yep.
But guys, when you go up around the Georgia-Florida line, isn't there's more chances for some of that, right? Like around Jacksonville and I'm assuming St. Augustine.
St. Augustine is pretty anti-metal detecting.
Yeah, well, I knew that, but
you got to. I mean, Charlie's up in the North Florida, but for me to get up to the Florida border, Georgia border, that's an 8-hour drive for me from Tampa Bay.
Yeah, well, you're good ways for sure. Yeah,
I mean, I'm right in the middle between the Florida border and the Keys. I'm 8 hours either way.
Right.
See, Charlie's much closer to the Florida border, but there's also wilderness and critters around the border that they distract him a little bit more. He just can't keep focused.
You're killing me.
Yeah, see, we could only Surfside Dan. We could only dream of a 1740 site down here.
Yeah, I was with Surfside Dan today. That was the site that I was telling you guys about. I know a lot of you too are interested in the HF2 coil, and here it is right here in my hands. But a lot of your dealers are getting these in. So if you were on a pre-order list or you were waiting on one, you're probably going to be contacted by your dealer really, really soon. I know my buddy, Mr. Mike Hall, and I don't mind, and I hope you guys don't mind if I give him a little plug, but
Nope.
LMS Metal Detecting, I know he's got, I think he's got I know he's got more than 10. Okay. So if you want to.
Now, Brian, what's the advantage of that coil?
This coil is awesome because it runs at higher frequencies, Rob. So this will go all the way up to 120 kilohertz, which is extremely high. You know, how much advantage that's going to give you is remains to be seen. But in a single frequency, you can go all the way up to that. In multi-frequency, you can get all the way up to 89 kilohertz. So it just helps. It helps in unmasking because when you run at those higher frequencies, it really works well when you get into a trashy site, iron sight. And of course, if you notice the shape of this coil, the way it's designed, it's got a longer point on it, and it will get into really tight places. So you can get into, in between, if you were hunting out in a field, maybe in a row, if you're hunting in the woods and you want to get really close to trees, that's going to be good for that. If you're hunting in heavy iron, it's going to be great for that. If you're hunting in even heavy modern trash, it's going to be good for that. You can pick out those targets much better, but you've got all these different frequencies that you can operate in. And, it's an amazing piece of equipment. I dug.
Look at this, Rob.
And Charlie probably saw most of those finds last night, but I've dug so many amazing things since I got this coil. I got this coil in May, and I dug a slave tag. I dug a Confederate cavalry button, all off of sites that I've hunted before with other machines. Dug a War of 1812 button, just crazy stuff. So I dug a Confederate lined eye button the other day with this thing. Yeah. And it was just amazing what it can do.
Yeah, you guys are finding all the goodies. That coil seems to be working pretty good.
Oh yeah. And like I said, it took me a while to get used to it. And as I started using it, I sort of figured, you sort of learn, just like we just got through saying, you need to learn your machine, But I had to relearn a lot of things with this coil. And I feel like me and this coil have become one. And so it's sort of got its own language that you sort of figure out, as you go along. And
It
Now
does.
that's for the DS2.
Yeah.
yes, sir. This
Now,
is for
is that a multi-frequency machine?
that is a multi-frequency machine.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the advantage of it is that you are operating in high frequency. So, Rob, I'll give you a great example where this coil might help you. And Surfside Dan's on here. Surfside Dan uses this coil on the beach. Now, again, it's not going to give you the coverage, but if you were to get in the water with this, then you get an advantage because it's not going to have all that drag to it, and you're going to be able to find your targets a lot easier with a smaller coil. Charlie, sort of like with that M9 coil. That M9 coil is very thin, so it has no drag when you swing it through the water.
The M9 coil to me kind of looks like the 9-inch coil for the DS2. Kind of that.
Yes, it does, but not as thick because remember the DS2, the battery is in the coil.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, so the M9 is very thin. You'll be amazed when you see how thin it is.
I can't wait. Now, I do have a question for you. There was a holdup with the HF2 coils getting out to us for a while.
Right.
And you and some other people were testing the coils or got your hands on the coils early.
Right.
And then there was update issues after update issues. And then do you think when that, I kind of wish that they would have just had it kind of all figured out and then boom, here you go.
Right.
And didn't have to update if they needed to, instead of doing all those betas to get it to where it needs to be at.
Well, but here's the one thing you need to keep in mind about all those betas that came out. Those betas were to fine tune that coil. And of course, they needed data and feedback from us in different parts of the world and in different areas before they could tweak it to get it to where they knew how it was going to work in all these different places. So those betas, you say what you want, at least XP said, hey, this is a beta version. You do not have to download it. If you don't want to, you don't have to download it. You can stick there until we have the final release.
Yeah, that's what I ended up doing. Actually, I waited for that because the 3.1 was originally going to be the final release, and then they got the 4.0 coming out now, right? Because
So here's the thing: we don't know what's in 4.0 yet.
Yeah, so I was curious about that. I was going to ask you about that. Do you know any?
Well, I mean, there's some things that we've been told, but we can't sort of talk about it right now. But 4.0 is coming, and there's going to be some changes. Now, how much? I don't really know that part. I do know that the 4.0 is definitely going to help with the new stereo headphones. Now, what those stereo headphones are going to do for you is hopefully let you hear sounds and hear things that you weren't able to hear before. Because right now, all headphones are in mono. Manicore, Nocta, all of them. They're all in mono. So this will be sort of a new thing for all of us, even though there were other companies that had stereo headphones before XP.
It's true. Brad did find it. My friend I dig with Brad, he did find that infantry button. Yeah. So I mean, it's here. It's like you said, you got to swing over it. But yeah, I mean, I'm liking. I am.
Howdy, Sam.
HF2 coil. I guess one of the things that's hard for me to grasp is and you had told me that, you explained the coins, how they hit. It just seems like everything's in that.
Right. Well, here's the thing with that. And I know I tried to tell you this via email, but I'll tell you this in person right now. So when you go up into those higher frequencies, it's hard to normalize the ID. Because once those higher frequencies once you go up into those higher frequencies, it's also going to cause the ID to sort of be elevated as well. There's no way to sort of normalize it like it is with every single frequency. You just
let me ask you this, Brian, with the Knox 800 having the dedicated 20 and 40 hertz for the gold guys, Does going up to 100 even make it more specific?
Well, here's where I think it's an advantage. If you go up to 120 hertz, or you go up to if you go up to 90 or over 100, if you were living out west and you wanted to do some gold prospecting for those little tiny nuggets, then you would be able to do that. The other advantage that this gives you is that if you were hunting in very, very hot dirt, it really works well with that too. Michael actually took it out the other day and hunted on a site that has really hot dirt, and it's mainly because of chicken manure scattered all over the fields, and of course that makes it where it becomes hot. And so this HF2 coil, he went out there and he's hunted this place before, and he dug a South Carolina Civil War butt, running it with that program. And so again, with that hot dirt, it really calmed that machine down. And the other great thing, Rob, too, and I know you probably got this at your sites as well, or on the beaches where you hunt, is that EMI is not an issue with this coil. Once you get above that 40 kilohertz, then that EMI almost goes away in a lot of cases. It's one of the quietest coils that I've ever run on a beach.
Yeah, I like quiet. I don't like a chatty detector.
No, well, but think about it. So you got gold earring backs, you got other things like that, little pieces of gold out on the beach too. That higher frequency is going to help you with finding those small pieces.
I just got a teeny gold plated earring back in a park and some wood chips. So I remember when the Knox first came out, people said it can't find little teeny gold. Well, I'm here to tell you it can.
Oh yeah, gosh, yes. And the Manicore. I mean, the Manicore is a gold beast out on the beach as well. You know, I can't tell you. I got like 2 calls this past summer to go out and find. One was a diamond earring, which was probably about $8,000 that this lady lost. Went out there, found it. The other find, and I think this might have been last year, but the other find that I went out and found was a gold coin that was from Lebanon. And this guy was wearing it around his neck, and he lost it on the beach. Didn't know where he lost it, had no idea where to tell me to look. And the weirdest thing, this just blew me away. So we talked for a little bit, and he started telling me about how precious this heirloom was to him and his family. And he called me like on a Saturday night at like 10:30 in a panic. And so I met him out on the beach at 6:30 that morning, and I went out there with the Manicore. And no lie, guys, no lie, and I've got it on video. One swing, and I found that coin.
Oh, really?
Not knowing where it was, not knowing anything about it. And the last thing I said to that guy was, my dad just passed away, and I know how important those types of things are to family. And I went out there with one swing and found that gold coin.
That's awesome.
That was the craziest. I've never experienced anything like that in my entire life.
That is cool.
The Manicore is a beast on the beach.
Yeah. That's my go-to for the beach right now. I haven't actually took the Deus out to the beach yet. I love the Manicore for the water. And I like to hunt.
Well, you're not going to go wrong with either one of those machines. I mean,
hi, Alicia.
Yeah, both of those machines, that's the top end. You know, and most people are either or they own both of them, to be honest with you.
Hey, Jim, I got a question. Have you tried the Pitch 2 on the Deus 2?
Yes, I have. I like Pitch all right, but what Michael and I were finding out with Pitch and Pitch 2 is that when you get a little bit of depth in there, it tends to act a little bit wonky. You don't get that clear sound like you would get if it were more shallow. So I like running full tones, but again, that's just me. I'm not telling anybody to, go out and run full tones because that's what I run. I would tell people whatever works for you, what works for your ears, play around with it, swing it around in your backyard, swing it around when you go out and detect, and see what it sounds like when you get over certain targets. And after you dig them, say, hey, I like the way that sounds, or hey, I don't like the way that sounds.
Right, so it's
Howdy,
really fun. It's fun to shoot
howdy,
next
Keegan.
one. This one swing.
Howdy, Mason Merck. Good
I
seeing
did
Mason
throw his
Merck here.
line once.
But yeah, audio and tones are very, very, it's selective for individuals. You know, if you like the way something sounds, then I would
Mhm.
strongly encourage you to use that. Just
Yeah.
because somebody else is using it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you.
Oh no, I'd seen a thing where who was it? It might have been Iffy that was showing the difference. Oh no,
Right.
it was it History Digger? Was it the guy that was it Rob that was up with you last
Yeah,
night?
Rob did it as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
did.
yeah.
And,
Yeah, it was
and-
one of their videos where I saw them showing the difference, or it might have been Scott from Mental Metal. I watch all
Yeah.
you guys that you swing that,
right.
and they were showing the the just how strong the pitch two came in on those deeper targets than the normal pitch did. I like the full tones as well. I think when you were doing your survey, that's what I tend
Right.
to do.
Yeah. And a
But
lot
I've
of
been trying a
people,
little bit of everything, trying to figure out what sounds good to me.
well,
Like
and
you
you
said.
can tell because I mean, I basically cut my teeth on pitch, Charlie. I mean, pitch is what I ran for ever since I had an XP machine. And, you know, but what I kept finding out was, you know, I really liked full tones. And Michael and I even run a two-tone program occasionally, especially on a Relic site, because it's you know, we hunt these sites and there's really not a lot of modern trash. So it's either iron or it's something non-ferrous. So why wouldn't you run a two-tone program if that's all it's going to be? But again,
Right.
then you've got, but you also have targets that are going to come in at certain areas. So, but you can set that discrimination up the way you want. So I've been running a high discrimination lately, and that's all I ran for most of the summer. And even running a higher discrimination, I've been able to pull targets left and right. And you used to not be able to do that because when you went up in your discrimination, you lost depth. But the DS2 is basically just smack that right out of the way.
So I know, like in the general program, I think it starts at 10,
right?
And then you tweak it from there if you want to. I kind of leave it where it's at right now and just kind of try and figure stuff out with it, how it is. I do change my reactivity and the silencer's at 2 already, so I don't touch that.
Well, and here's another advantage, Charlie. And I know I've talked about a few things, but the ability to be able to run a negative silencer is huge. Because I run a -1 right now, and sometimes I've even gone to a -2. -3 gets a little bit much. But again, you know, would you run a negative silencer on a park site with modern trash? Maybe not.
No.
But in my situation, having that negative silencer really, really, really helps me out a ton, I believe. And again, you only get that with version 3 software on the DS2.
Yeah, see, because I mean, I would consider our soil here is just, it's generally sandy,
Right.
So
well, that's the way my soil is.
So, yeah, I mean, it's mild over here. We don't really, in my situation at least, I don't know about Rob, but we don't have a lot of heavy iron sites.
Right. Right.
Running into that.
Well, and it goes back.
We don't got those sites to go to really around here either. Geez,
well, and it goes back to what we just said at the beginning of the show when we were talking about all of this, and Rob was saying, well, I don't really have those. And you guys maybe don't have those types of sites. So, maybe you need to run something different, for the sites that you're hunting. But again, I can tell you what I know about some of those settings, but I don't hunt some of those particular types of sites,
Right. Yeah.
So, again, I'm not a professional. I never claimed to be a professional. I'm just a guy with a metal detector that just loves to go out and have fun and look for history. That's just
you're
me.
a great teacher. I'm going to tell you that right now. Yeah, I mean, you give us a lot of knowledge. I mean, I enjoy going to your channel, watching your streams because there's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
There's a lot to learn.
Well, and again, if you're a teacher, you've got to have a big heart, and you got to have a lot of patience. And yeah, I try to bring the same thing to this as I do with my students. Is just that I just want to help people. You know, that's who I am. And if somebody needs something or somebody wants to know about something, I'll try to find the answer for you. I may not know it right off the bat, but I'll try to help you out and try to tell you, hey, here's what I've noticed, or here's what I see with this machine or with that machine, or here's what I know about the Deus 2. Here's what I know about the Manicore. You know, if somebody wants to ask me, then I'll tell them. I can't guarantee that it's always going to be right, but I'll tell you what I think is going to work. And that's just it. So, and just got some great people around me. Michael is awesome. I mean, Michael gives me a lot of tips and information too that a lot of people don't know about, because we're basically having these conversations like what I'm having with you guys. We have these conversations out in the field. You know, so we're talking the whole time. Hey, what are you going to do here? Or did you hear how this sounded? Or, you know, what were you running at this point? You know, and so we do a lot of that out in the field, and we learn so much from each other. And that's why it's great to go out with a partner. You know, you can figure out some of those things.
Yeah, for sure. And we appreciate. I mean, I definitely appreciate. I know people in the chat do too, because you have some of those answers for us already, you know, that you guys already talked about, and kind of figure out some stuff for your area, but that we can apply and try for ourselves to see how it works, you know?
And Charlie, there's so many great people that come on our show that are also on your guys' show as well. But they come on there and they tell me things too that I don't know, you know, or they give good information. So that's why we do our live streams, is so people can sort of bounce ideas and bounce things off of each other too. And like I said, I feel like we have a great audience and some very knowledgeable detectorists that come on our show every Friday night, and just are a big part of what we're doing.
Seriously, Dan, yeah, I have the stock shaft on that, the Manicore, and I'm fine with that. It doesn't affect me at all. It doesn't feel heavy to me. I get in the water and I just go. I used to use the Excalibur 2 when I was hitting the beaches in the water. And then the Manicore, I started using that. And I was at actually one of there's a channel, We Dig It. I don't know if you guys know them, but really nice guy and family and everything. His father lives here in Pensacola and had lost a ring in his yard. Well, he's in St. Croix, right, Rob? Gene's down in St. Croix.
St. Croix, yes.
Yeah. So Gene called me and asked me if I could go over there and find his dad's ring for him. I'm not gonna. Brad's here, so I'm not gonna say that because he's gonna kill me. But either way, I grabbed the Manicore, just had it on speaker, and I was sitting there swinging, and you can hear it just go. Womp, 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 womp. Speaker gone. External speaker no more.
Oh no!
It's like, oh no.
And Brian, Charlie refuses to send it in to get a
I
speaker
haven't
for
turned it
you.
in. I haven't turned it in. Because I figure when I'm in the water, it's plugged in with my headphones. I'm fine, you know.
I got a question up here. Relic Reaper wants to know if any of my students know or watch your YouTubes, and what is that like? Yeah, they do watch. And, you know, the funny thing is that I can go into my classroom and I can look at every single one of those teenage girls and guys, and I can say, hey, I've got more followers than you do. and then when they find out I'm on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, but they like watching it because they know my passion, because I teach U.S. history. And so a lot of them find it just really cool that I'm doing that. And in fact, it was my students that actually got me to start my channel.
Oh, really?
Yes. Well, I had a YouTube channel, but I really wasn't doing much with it. I started my YouTube channel in 2018, but I really wasn't doing much with it. And then right before COVID hit, they kept saying, Coach White, you need to start a TikTok. You need to start a TikTok. And And so I started TikTok, and I was, it was okay. And eventually I got over 1,000 followers, and I said, this isn't too bad. Maybe I can take this to a whole nother level. And so then I sort of branched out. I said, well, let me try Instagram. So I went over to Instagram, then I went over to Facebook, and then I came back to YouTube, and it just took off from there. But that's pretty much how it played out. But my students love the idea that I'm on these things, and some of them will even every now and then they'll come in on a live stream or something like that. But they like watching them. And I'll have them come in and say, hey, I saw what you found the other day. That was really, really cool. And then I bring in artifacts and things and show them, because I teach all these different time periods. So, how great is it that I can actually bring something in that they can physically touch and see?
Yeah.
Do you teach high school?
I teach high school students. So 11th grade and 12th grade. So, they like that. They like knowing that I'm doing some of this.
Mm-hmm. Well, being a history teacher and being able to show them some of that stuff, that's got to really click with them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I can tell them about a lot of these things, and tell them about the places that I go and what I'm looking for. And, it is pretty fun sometimes. It really is.
Well, I want to set up a race real quick, Rob, if we could, maybe just a comment picker.
I can do a comment picker.
That'll be nice and easy. And I want to do one. If you guys can type in SRA.
Yeah.
There we go. How about that? Nice.
SRA. That's an easy one.
And Brian, you can type in on it too if you want.
No, I'm good.
Before a motley digging knife.
I just appreciate you guys. I appreciate what you guys do on Sunday mornings too, with your show on Sunday.
Tomorrow's gonna be interesting. We're gonna be gold panning.
Yeah.
GP and Mama Bird, so that'll be a lot of fun.
Well, I know a lot of people enjoy coming on there on Sunday mornings, and you guys just do a phenomenal job. And kudos to you guys for being consistent and diligent with it. And I know what that sacrifice is like.
Yeah, we haven't missed a Sunday in over 3 years.
Yeah, well, I know what that sacrifice is like. So kudos to you guys. And that's why I always try to come over there and leave a comment and just give you guys a big thumbs up, because doing these live streams is not as easy as some people think it is.
Oh, no, it's not.
And especially with the duck, Rob, how do you get all of those names in there? I don't know how you do.
Zach, I gotta give Zach some credit for this. Zach came up with the idea of having a master racing list, and we keep the top 200 people that are in and out of the streams. We keep them in a master racing list. So when I build a duck race, I just cut and paste those 200 names in, and then if like the few people coming over from your channel tonight, we would just add them, and it makes it a lot easier than rebuilding it every Sunday.
Right. Well, Zach deserves a raise then.
Zach, we give you 100% raise from your zero pay.
I could see me telling Michael, you got to keep up with all these names. He'd freak out.
I'm calling out.
Howdy, Lance. Howdy, PA.
Lance wants me to give a historical tip of the week. Well,
there you go.
You guys know that I was born and raised in South Carolina. My family has been in South Carolina since 1730. My grandfather of the Revolutionary War was actually with Francis Marion's brigade here in South Carolina. And if you guys know I don't know if y'all know who Francis Marion is, but anyway, Revolutionary War hero from South Carolina. And this is a good thing that a lot of people don't know. There were more skirmishes, Revolutionary War skirmishes in South Carolina than any other colony. So more battles and more skirmishes were fought right here than any other colony of the 13 colonies.
Wow.
And here's another, if it wasn't for what happened in South Carolina, the Revolutionary War would have never come to an end. because the British had basically felt like they had defeated South Carolina when they wiped out the army at Camden, and they took Charleston. Francis Marion fled, and this is a really good story. Francis Marion fled from the British, and the reason why he was able to flee was because right before the British invaded Charleston here in South Carolina, he was at a party and he didn't drink, but he didn't want to sort of be a snob. So he snuck upstairs and he jumped out of the window of the house that he was staying or that they were having the party at.
No way.
And he broke his ankle when he landed.
Wow.
And so he was across the river from Charleston when the British invaded. And if that hadn't happened, he would have been captured, and there never would have been this militia force to fight the British. So,
That's crazy.
yeah. So a lot of great history here. I mean, I can go all day with South Carolina history, but there you go, Lance. There's a history tip of the week or history fact of the week. How about that?
I do want to ask you a question, Teach. I know they're building up the SRA comment while that's going on. What do you use for locating old sites? What maps are you doing? Like, do you do like historic aerials, or is there something else you use? Or
Charlie, here's a good thing too. I don't have a lot of maps for our area, South Carolina, because when General Sherman came through South Carolina, they took all of the maps and took all of the census records and everything from Charleston because they thought Sherman was going to Charleston when he got to Savannah. Because remember, again, here's another history tip for Lance. Remember, the Civil War begins in Charleston at Fort Sumter. Okay? So what ends up happening is they send all of the records to Sherrall, to Chesterfield County, not knowing that Sherman's going to come right up through the center of the state and eventually go to those areas. And a lot of them were destroyed by the Northern troops. So we don't really have a lot of old maps. So I have to rely on historical diaries.
mm-hmm.
I look at what some of these history books have put, and then I sort of start trying to piece things together. And that's how I end up finding a lot of sites, believe it or not.
That's interesting.
I go to the library, and then sometimes I just use my eyes because I know that a lot of historical sites are going to be at places where you can get water, like near a river, a stream, a creek, and you're going to look for the highest piece of ground. And when you're in these areas, you got probably about a 70% chance of finding something old when you get on those things. And Dan brings up LIDAR. LIDAR is a good one too. The only problem is a lot of the old foundations and things that would be recognizable by LIDAR sometimes don't show up at all.
Really?
Yeah. Because especially a lot of the older homes were just made of wood. They were dirt floors in some cases, except for the big houses. And most of those big houses are still there, or we know where those were. But finding some of these other places, it can be tough. It can be real tough. But I do a lot of reading, Charlie, just for the short of it. I read a lot of books. I look for diary entries. I look for landmarks and locations that are mentioned in some of those things. And then I just go from there.
Larry says all plat maps and wagon trails, the stagecoach roads.
Right. Problem is, we don't, like I said, we don't have a lot of those things here in South Carolina.
Excuse me one second. I got to help my dad real quick. Sorry.
You're good. So, Rob, you're still running the Equinox 800?
Yeah, I got a 6 and an 8.
Okay. All right. And what you run Beach 1 or Beach 2?
Sand and dry sand, I run Beach 1, and then when I got in the water today, I switched over to Beach 2.
Good. Yeah. One Well, those
when I do my parks and my permissions, I'm in field 1 or park 1. A lot of the guys, Troy and Dalton that I hunt with, they use park 2, and they do seem to find more silver than me.
right.
But I can't stand park 2's tones. I just can't stand park 2's tones.
Well, you know why they Park 1 has that, because it's lower weighted on the frequency, like we just talked about. And so Park 2 is got a higher weighted frequency, which I would use Park 2 for relic hunting, believe it or not, or I'd use Field 2. But I usually ran Park 2 when I was relic hunting.
Well, and I got to admit, when one of the Grony boys, when they were hunting, he was talking about the silver he finds in Park 2, and I went back to one of my little permissions I had, and I thought I'll try Park 2 for a little while, and in less than a minute I had a barber dime.
Oh, really?
I knew it worked.
This in on Charlie right now, right?
Yeah, Jim Steele. It's for Charlie. You said you're giving away a hand digger.
Yeah, one of those motley diggers.
So just type in J-Paul, type in SRA for Southern Relic Adventures.
Yeah.
Good evening, Rob. Mainly dirt fishing.
Hey, Rob.
Alrighty, guys. We've got 81 entries. We'll give you guys 10 more seconds, and
we'll do this thing.
Sandboard maps. Sandboard maps are really good here in Florida, Miss Alicia.
Right.
They're all stored up at the University of Florida.
Well, yeah,
they have a hell of a map collection up there.
And I might better clarify this. So you can still get Sandboard maps here in South Carolina, but this is pre-Civil War. So all the stuff that I like to look for, I'm sort of left wandering around a lot of times. Yeah, you can still get Sandboard maps. You can go to city halls and that kind of thing, and you can still sort of see the old layouts of the cities, and the Sandboard and fire maps or insurance maps. Those things are still available. But again, I'm mainly looking for everything pre-Civil War is what I mainly go for.
You guys get on a lot of 1700s areas, right?
Yes, this area real strong with colonial history, and I love colonial history.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
like my real passion. But I mean, I love Civil War stuff too, but love colonial history.
All right, guys, we got 85 entrants. Let's go ahead and run this for a motley digger.
There we go.
3, 2, 1, and go.
Good luck, good luck, good luck.
All right, good luck to everyone. See who's going to be the lucky winner tonight.
Boom!
Papa. Adventures with Papa.
Well, Lawrence,
congratulations. That's awesome. That's a nice digger too.
Yeah.
Charlie, do you have that out? I don't think I've ever seen one of those.
I don't own one. My sponsor I give them away like crazy, but I've never kept one for myself.
Yeah. Okay.
I can get a picture.
Miss Paula?
They are
No
pretty
worries,
sharp.
Rob.
They're pretty cool looking.
Zaxxon's got one. Zach's got one, right?
I'm not a metal detector.
No. Whenever Zach wins something, if it's not something he'll use, he won't even answer. He just
passes it on.
Yeah.
If I won't use it, I don't accept it when I do. And I didn't enter on this one. And then secondarily, people don't realize it, but Charlie's actually collecting these people's addresses. And,
Yeah.
personally, I recommend you ship it to someone else's house or something. The guy's got a little bit of a history, and it's just
they can have them sent to their neighbor's house, right?
Yeah, Charlie's the reason everybody's got P.O. boxes, okay?
That would be the recommended outcome.
So this went from a metal detecting discussion to back to Charlie. I'm gonna go full screen. I'll show you these real quick. Teach.
All right.
That's what they look like.
No, not the deer, man. I knew he was going to do that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Now I do know.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
I thought I remembered them having holes.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if they had holes on
Mr.
the
Minnick
handle.
says, I'll leave the doors unlocked to save my windows from Charlie, so.
Let me get off of this thing.
Bill messed up and gave him his address, so he had to get some ADT.
Nick says this is why I have Charlie send me gift cards. Nothing to do with the fact that you're in Canada, pal.
Oh
man.
Lord, that's hilarious. Well, Charlie, that 9-inch coil too, it's really deep. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that too. It's got great depth.
On the M9?
Yes, on that M9, it's got really good depth. It's got great coverage, great in unmasking. It'll be great in trash. But it's a solid coil. In fact, I don't know. I don't think I've ever even put my 11-inch coil back on my machine since I had that 9-inch.
I have a question for you, Brian.
Yeah.
Between the HF2 coil and the M9 coil. Now I know I use 11-inch in the beach, and it smacks on gold. It's really good. The Manicore is
Right.
Now the HF2 is supposed to be able to pick up those chains a little bit better. What do you think that would compare with the M9? Do you think?
Well, again, just like what I was saying to Rob a few minutes ago, that HF2 is really good on really small items, small pieces of gold. So yeah, those thin gold chains. But I will say this: I have sort of tried to test that, and some of those really, really thin ones, I struggle hitting them with that HF2. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah, but but as far as an earring back or something that's round or something that's got some shape to it, I think it really does well. Now,
Lance says my M9 never comes off my Manicore. He says the M9 never comes off his Manicore.
Yeah, it doesn't. And I'm with them all the way, because once you put that on, it changes that machine. It changes the ergonomics. It just changes. You just enjoy swinging it.
Good evening, Tim and Kathy.
It really does that. I enjoy swinging mine. And I'll tell you another thing that I love to do. And Charlie, I don't know if you do this, and Rob might do it with the Equinox, but I love running the little module and putting in the lightweight earbuds. Do y'all do either of those?
I do not.
Actually, that's what Troy and Dalton use. They actually use earbuds.
Right.
And they love them. They absolutely, when I'm hunting in the dirt, I don't use headphones. I like just hearing my machine, but they love that. I've never actually used that, Brian.
Yeah. But
Rob sent me one of those.
Well, hey, I'm telling you guys, this, especially with us being in the heat so much, you get out on that beach and you get you some of these, and I've lost the tip. But anyway, you get you some of these with the industrial tips on the end of it and stick it in your ear. It's just like you got over-the-ear headphones, because these go inside of your ear, and they're comfortable, they're lightweight, and you can run them.
Do you need that with the 800?
They have the WMO 8 for the 800. The WMO 9 is for the Manicore. So yeah, so this I love this module. In fact, I relic hunt with it like this.
Oh, really?
Yes. I've got the
Here, Bill Brasky has a good question, Teach.
Sure. Is the M9 only for the Manicore? The M9 is for the Manicore. The M8 is for the Equinox. So you can contact your dealer or go on Amazon or wherever you shop at, WMO8 for the Equinox and WMO9 for the Manicore.
Yeah, that's when I'm doing the dirt. I don't use headphones, but when I'm on the beach, I just wear regular. I use the waterproof headphones.
Well, I really like these because, like I said, especially when it gets hot during the summer, I stick those things in my ear and I don't miss a beat, and I can hear really, really good with those in my ears. But these headphones, and all it is a 3.5 millimeter jack that plugs into it, and you can use any headphones that you want. I know some guys that love those Tony Eisenhower headphones or Gray Ghost headphones. and they'll plug those into these. But I mean, I like it because I can plug, these earbuds.
Now, do you have to use that as opposed to just getting an adapter?
What's that now, Rob?
You have to use the M8 as opposed to just getting an adapter to take the small jack?
Yes, you would have to use the WM08 for the Equinox.
Because I remember taking some and I tried this once. I remember taking my Knox 600 and I tried using my LAN headphones,
Right?
With the plug-in area underwater,
Right.
That went disastrously. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I've got waterproof headphones for the Manicore. I also have waterproof headphones for the Legend too, and they're over the ear. But here's the problem with that, because once those things, if they get water in them at all, then it doesn't. You can't hear it like you should be able to hear it.
Yeah.
Well, when it ruined my headphones, I couldn't hear anything. So
yeah. And one other thing too. So we're talking about the Manicore, but this thing too has an adapter that you can attach to it, and you can slide this off, slide the adapter on, put this in a little small case, and you can hook up whatever headphones you want to for your Deus 2 as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Now let me ask you a question about the Deus 2.
Sure.
Well, first off, I'm a Mind Lab guy, so but everybody seems to love the Deus 2. They seem to say how much it went, and I remember when it first came out, Merrill went with it, but when he took it overseas down to the Caribbean or wherever he went with his family on vacation,
right,
he went to go pull it out of the suitcase to use underwater, and that little cable connector for the end of the coil broke.
Right.
So he couldn't use the machine underwater at all because the coil was getting in, underwater. It didn't.
Right.
And my knock on the Deus, and like I say, I've never had one or used one. They just look like they're cheap to me.
Yeah.
Everything looks a little thin and little thin wires and connections. And I knew he wasn't happy because that little piece broke off. And a lot of people say that after you've used it a while, that where you slide the little control box in and out, that gets worn off and it keeps falling off.
Right. Well, they've actually addressed the remote holder, so they have addressed that. It stays on a lot better. You can also buy some aftermarket things too if you want, but XP's really worked hard on addressing that. The other thing is with that clip or the wire for underwater hunting or water hunting. Once you slide that thing on, they've made it where it's a lot more snug. But one of the things, and Surfside Dan, I don't think he's on here right now, but one of the things that a lot of the beach hunters will do is they will take either a zip tie or whatever and make sure that they sort of zip tie around it to make sure it doesn't pop off. But
my point is with a $1,300 machine, you shouldn't have to freaking do that.
Yeah. Well, look, and I'm with you 100%. I don't really beach hunt.
Well, Lance says it looks for you. The Deus 2 is like a tank. See, that's good to know, Lance, because that was just my personal impression of it. I've never used the machine.
Well, and here's another thing too, Rob. I don't know if you paid attention this week, but XP just announced they've got a 5-year warranty on all of their stuff. Okay.
I wonder if the other companies are going to step up that. That's an incredible warranty.
Wait for what he tells you.
But it gets even better. So they believe so strongly in their product that they're offering a 10-year warranty.
On the Deus 2?
On the Deus 2. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's all I can say to that is wow.
Yeah, but here's the caveat to it though, Rob. You got to pay for the 10-year warranty.
How much is it, Brian? Do you know?
If you got a complete machine, coil, remote, everything, I want to say I figured it up with euros versus American dollars, and I think it was working out to be about $115. But you got a 10-year warranty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that breaks down to fairly over $20 a year. I think that's worth it. So yeah, it's going to be coming standard with a 5-year now.
It's always had a 5-year, Rob.
Wow. I did not know that.
So I know when people hold it in their hands, they say this feels like a toy. This feels cheap or whatever, but it's not, Rob. I'm telling you, I dropped mine. I've done all kind of crazy things with mine. Yeah. It is a very solid machine. through and
And
through.
I will tell you this: if my lab announced that they were upping their Manicore warranty to 5 years, I'd probably get one tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, XP's the first to offer a 10-year warranty. I don't know. No other company has done that.
No.
So yeah, and a lot of people, just like
Dig
Dig and Do brought it up too. You know, a lot of these people use their XP Days 2 everywhere: beach, woods, parks, easy to travel with, all those types of things.
Mhm.
Somebody said,
Why worry about warranties? Charlie doesn't use any.
yeah.
Brian Kelly's got a good question for you.
Sure. Is there a small coil for the Deus 2? Yes, the new HF2 coil. It's a small coil that you can get for the Deus 2 right now. So it's a 9x5 actually. So you're still getting a 9-inch coil too, Charlie and Rob. It's a 9-inch coil. So 9 inches different than a round coil, but it's still 9 inches.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, the design of that coil, I think, was really what makes it special too. The way they designed it, the way they made it, to where you can get into really tight places, you deal with EMI. Now, again, and I've said this 100 times on my channel, it's a specialty coil. If you don't have trashy areas, you don't have a problem with EMI, you don't need a coil to get in really tight spaces, then the 9-inch would probably do what you need it to do. Okay. But the 9-inch round. But if you do have those issues, or you do hunt small gold, or you do have high EMI, or you do hunt trashy areas, and you do hunt in a lot of tight spaces, you want to go back over a spot that you've hunted a gazillion times and see if you can find something else that you might have missed, then this coil is the coil that I would recommend as an accessory, another arrow in the quiver.
So since we're picking your brain tonight, I've just got the standard yellow waterproof Equinox headphones.
Right.
Okay? Can you use them with the Manicore?
Yes, you could if you had that WM09.
Oh, you have to use the adapter.
Yeah, you would use the adapter and you would plug it into the WM09.
Is that adapter waterproof?
No, the adapter is not waterproof. Yeah, so no, you couldn't. I mean, you couldn't take it in the water, but yeah, you would still have to use the yellow headphones.
You'd have to actually upgrade. I got a pair of those yellow.
And what about the Tony Eisenhower? Can you use those with the Manicore?
Yes, you could if you had the WM09, but again, the headphones are waterproof, but this thing is not.
But how could you use the Tony Eisenhower waterproof headphones in the water with the Manicore without that adapter?
It would have to be set for the Manicore. Like if you're coming off the 800 and you can't use those headphones on the Manicore.
That's what I'm asking. I just can't plug and play with the yellow Knox headphones.
I don't think so.
Let me get my Manicore. Oh, so again, this is the Manicore. If you bought those yellow headphones, all you'd have to do is plug them in the back of the Manicore.
Right. So they will work.
They will work. Right. They will work.
That's fantastic. That's what that would save me $100 for another pair of headphones.
Right. But if you were going to connect another set of headphones that are not MindLab headphones, then you would have to have this, but this is not waterproof. So just to let you know that.
Now, Jeremy just texted me and said that you can contact Tony Eisenhower and he can make his waterproof headphones for the Manicore.
Right. So yeah, you would have to get a special adapter on the end to plug into your Manicore.
Gotcha.
But yes, they will work. Somebody
BMD saying no adapter needed.
Yeah, there's a couple guys in our club that have the Tony Eisenhowers for their Knox 6s and 8s, and they absolutely love his headphones.
Well, I'm telling you, those Tony Eisenhowers for the 800, because I used to have used those before. I didn't have a pair myself, but I have used them before with the Equinox, and those things sound unbelievable. I mean, they are so cool.
Now, I also broke a pair of my I was in my newbie days, I wore my waterproof headphones while I was dirt digging.
Right.
And you know, in the water, when you let go of your machine, it's being held up by your weight and the headphone cable. But on land, when you're setting your machine down in the dirt, I stretched out the headphones, the waterproof headphones, and I wound up popping the cable out of the end of the jack. And I put them in a box and sent them to Tony. And
Right.
Tony had them repaired, put a longer cable on them, and he had them back to me in less than 2 weeks. So, I mean, the man's a wizard.
Oh, Rob, I misspoken. It's the wireless headphones that won't transfer. Your 800 headphones will not work on the Manicore.
Yes, they will. The ML105s will work on the Manicore.
On the 800, the Knox 800 headphones will?
Yes, the Knox 800 headphones will work on the
I thought
Manicore.
you had to buy separate, or they came with something separate.
Those are the ML85s, I believe, that come with the Equinox, and they have ML105s for the Manicore. But those will work. I've got both of those headphones.
Well, that's good to know too.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean,
900 will work. Okay.
yes. Yeah.
I'm learning stuff here.
Yeah. Well, y'all are asking some really good questions and things I don't really think about sometimes. So I'm
Rocky,
so
when you connect the M9 to the Manicore, do you have to hook it up to the computer to get it to calibrate?
No, you just hook the M9 up and plug it into the back of your Manicore, and you're good to go. You don't have to make any special adjustments or anything.
Brian, let me bring this up.
Sure.
Here it is right here. Here's an ad. MindLab Equinox, Manicore, and Xterra Pro. Those will fit all 3 different machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that.
Oh, okay.
I said no.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It was me. I'm an art of that.
Yeah, they'll work with all those machines.
Good deal.
Yeah, but I just didn't want you to think you could run the WMO9s or run the WMO9 module in the water. That was the main thing I wanted to make sure you did.
Because I would have done that, Brian. I would have absolutely done
that. So, yeah. But yeah, that it will work. It will work. So,
Gregory, it is a mystery to me why Charlie doesn't send his machine in to get the warrant.
Right. The metal detector has asked a good question. He says, is there any Manicore adapter to use wireless earbuds? And as far as I know, no, not at this moment. That's one of the things that I've been sort of trying to get XP to do, is to make it to where maybe we could use, but I know they won't because it's proprietary, and MindLab's sort of the same way. Make it to where we could use AirPods, you know?
Oh, yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, but
there you go.
Who knows? That could be something.
Tim Lynch said I used my Aquatex on my Manicore yesterday that were made for the 800. So yes, they are switchable.
Yeah, they are compatible. So that's
right.
Good.
But yeah, y'all, hey, that's some great questions tonight. I really appreciate that, guys.
No, we appreciate you coming up and answering some of this stuff for us.
Yeah, we had a stream about 2 weeks ago where we, and the reason this came about, you coming up tonight, Brian, is we had a good stream about 2 weeks ago, and we started talking about detectors, and one of the folks in the stream was like, "Oh my God, imagine that, a metal detecting live stream. We're actually talking about metal detectors."
Yeah.
You've been here plenty of times. You know what we really talking about.
I mean, we're talking about food or movies.
Somebody getting
Zach and I'll get on chess or something.
Yeah. Well, but Rob, you can get the WMO8 for the Equinox if you do want one of those modules, and you do want to try.
I have the MO8.
Okay, good. Yeah,
I actually gave my spare one to Charlie because when I bought a guy at my club had the Knox 15-inch coil,
right,
and he'd used it like once on the beach, and him and his wife are in their 70s, and he's like, "Listen, this coil is just too heavy to me." He brought it to our club, and he said, "I'm selling my 15-inch coil for $60. I've used it twice."
Right.
I couldn't get $60 out of my wallet fast enough. And then when he sold me that, he sold me his wireless, Knox headphones that were still in the hard carry case.
Yeah.
With the brand new M8, and I just sent those right up to Charlie. Charlie goes, "I don't have one of those," and I go, "I've already got one of them, my new Knox." So I sent the M80 headphones and box to Charlie, and then after about a year, I tried the 15-inch coil too, and I thought it was a little heavy for me.
Yeah.
So somebody on our stream was looking for the 15-inch coil, and they said, I've got a brand new, Knox stock coil. I said, all right, let's just swap. So I've got a brand new stock Knox coil, because we all know how fragile those stupid ears are. So
Yeah, they are. I've got the 15-inch for the Manicore too, Charlie, and I've run it. The good thing is that the Manicore, with that 15-inch, it's not as heavy as you think it would be.
yeah, but see, don't they have you have the carbon fiber shafts on the new Manicore, right?
Yes.
So that's got to help take up,
Well,
so even with the 15-inch coil, it's still got to be pretty light with the.
Oh yeah, and then the 900 too has a carbon graphite shaft too. So
because I hunted with Kimberly, the Sunshine State detector, she came over and did Dalton's 12-acre field with us, and she's got the Manicore, and she put the smaller coil on it, but with the carbon fiber shafts. When she handed it to me, oh my God, it was as light as a feather.
Have you held the DS2, Rob?
To what?
Have you held the DS2? Have you held the DS?
No, and that's what I said, guys. I'm just going on what I looked. I've never held one. I've never detected. I've never swung one. But when Jeff came over here from Austria, Charlie, and stayed with us, he had the Deus One.
Yeah,
and he loved it as far as detecting, but he had the same complaints. He says the control pod keeps falling off the
right. Well, he needs to contact his dealer or just go online. You can find the new.
We don't have to worry about Jeff anymore. He's what? How old is Jeff? 72.
He's up there.
He moved to
the Philippines.
Yeah, he moved to the Philippines and found a 27-year-old bride. So he's not doing any more metal detecting now. So
he's got another hobby now.
Yeah, we're just going to leave it at that, Brian. Okay.
Yeah.
But he actually said the Philippines has super, super strict rules. You can't metal detect anywhere.
Oh yeah. Check this out. Tim says there is wired waterproof earbuds made for the 800 Manicore by a guy in Texas.
Oh, nice.
I've never seen them, but
Tim, do they plug right into the machine?
I know Team Lynch does a lot of beach hunting, so he probably knows better than I do as far as that part goes.
Yeah, Team Lynch they came to Florida to Clearwater a few years ago from Tennessee, and I had the privilege and honor of meeting them and hunting the beach one night with them, and just the nicest people in the world.
Yeah, and I think he comes on our channel as well, and we appreciate him as well. And thanks for leaving that too tonight. Again, like I said, I don't know everything, and I never claim to know everything. So I'm always looking for my audience for answers sometimes.
Tim says yes. Tim says yes. They plug right into the machine. He says I've ordered several pair.
Yeah,
nice. Neat. I might have to get a pair of those.
Right. So Tim, again, like I said, these guys.
If you have his email or website, Tim, if you want to throw that up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chuck Owens, I need you to hit me up, buddy. Email me.
And says, just to make sure, you're saying that the M8 little adapter is not waterproof. No, it is not.
No, it is not waterproof. No, sir.
Hey, Brad N.
Here's what Joe says.
Yeah. The Batty A-Lab 3267.
Joe, the Bad Idea Lab.
A Bad Idea Lab. Okay, I got it. I said Batty. So. Some of these names.
We rarely ever get anybody's name right here.
Oh, I know, and I know I butcher them too when we're doing our show sometimes.
It's been about 3 months now that YouTube switched over to putting your full name as opposed to your they're putting the letters and the numbers behind.
Right.
Just go back to using the channel name, okay?
Right.
Joff is 76. Marty, he's the man.
Yeah. Well, again, the M9 coil for that Manicore is a very powerful coil. I mean, it really works really well. You're gonna love it, Charlie.
Yeah, these handles, Grandma Kelly.
Everybody have heard talk about it. It seems like that's their go-to coil now for the Manicore.
They should have released that machine with that coil on. But again, most of these machines, whenever they're being tested, they usually test with the 11-inch coil. That 9-inch, they had that 9-inch available almost a year before they finally released it. I mean, it was I mean, it was available. I mean, they had it, but they didn't release it.
All right, so
So-
let's talk about what's the new machine coming out right now? The Legend 2?
This the Legend
Yeah,
2 is coming out. It's going to have you're going to be able to update that machine wirelessly, which is pretty cool. I had the Rudis Versa from over in Europe, which did the same thing, which I think is really cool. I'm sort of hoping XP is going to do something along those lines too, where you can update wirelessly. So if you're out in the field and you haven't done your update and you got your phone, you'll be able just to update your machine while you're out in the field, as long as you got a fairly good signal.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's going to be pretty cool. The other thing that Nocta has done is they went from that, instead of that 60 scale, they've gone up to 99. And of course, they're going to have a 9-inch round coil too, like the Manicore. So I think a lot of people are going to enjoy that. The machine is a lot lighter, 2.6, I believe, is what I saw. So the Legend was, a little heavy. So it's going to be lighter too. So that machine, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But I know that they've had some issues in some of the testing phases. So they're in the process of trying to get some of those things and those kinks worked out. But, when we see it, I don't know.
Why is everybody typing 1122?
I don't know. I've never understood that.
Uh-huh. Not yet, Tom, but they're supposed to come back into the States this week. So I would imagine by Monday they should be back at the shop and sending that stuff out. So you should be getting your what did you want? The
Oh,
WSA
wow. Torchy
6
just threw Zach under the bus.
Yeah.
Jackson told us to type it in. That's
Just threw you under the bus there, pal.
You might not know it, Southern Relic. We were sitting here streaming one night.
Yeah.
And Rob had a legitimate question, which is why is everybody typing 1122 without realizing that the 1122 was the timestamp after their name.
but nobody put anything. It was just all these blanks with 1122, and I just said, well, why is everybody typing 1122? Yeah,
well, I bet just typed in 1123. So
it's another one of my Leonardo moments. So,
but going back to the Legend 2, they've made the interface a lot easier to use. I know a lot of people that had the original Legend, they would struggle because you had all those little sub menus sort of hidden in certain places. So they've made those menus a little bit easier to get to, made it more user friendly. The UI on it or user interface is a lot better from what they've been saying. So and again, lighter, 99 scale, updatable wirelessly. They're going to have bone conductive headphones for that machine too.
Really?
So those will be really, really cool too.
I like those.
Use your phone and code your CTX 3030 now too.
That CTX. That's a heavy one too, right? That's another.
Yeah, that CTX is a tank. A tank.
I got it, Chuck. Thank you.
But the Rudis Versa that I did have for a little while. And Digging Dude's got a Rudis Versa too as well, but it would update wirelessly. You would be able to run it straight through your phone to do the update. And a lot of people don't have computers, or
right.
They just have their phone. So it makes sense that they did that. And kudos to Nocta.
Tim says those earbuds for the Manicore on eBay, get the ones with the longer cords. There you go. Thank you, Tim. See, that's it. This community is just such a wealth of information.
Yeah, look at Old Timer says he's using the Nocta headphones on my Nox 800 now.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Alicia says I can't wait to get my Legend 2. Do you know when that's supposed to come out, Brian?
Well, originally. It was supposed to be in December before Christmas. Mm-hmm. And Delic did a whole show on that saying, hey, we were hoping to release this before Christmas, but we did have this happen. And again, they want to make sure it's going to be right. And, kudos to them. We don't want them to release it and then have a major recall on the machine. And it was a hardware issue. is what she said. So again, with that hardware issue, they recalled all those machines that the testers had, and they're basically upgrading the software and the hardware to address whatever that issue was. They did not send me one, and so I don't really know what that issue was. But again, I know they're working on it, and you know, we should see it. I would think. I hate to even say, but I'm hoping that we'll see it by February at some point.
Mm. And the price point for that, what is it about? It's about $1,000.
It's $1,000, but with that $1,000, you get wireless headphones, and I believe you get
the
3 coils. I believe
3. Wow,
yeah, either 2 or 3. I can't remember. Don't hold me to that, but I know you get an extra coil with it. So yeah, and somebody just said, yeah, I heard the coil. Yeah, it was a coil issue, is what a lot of us were told. So yeah, so it'll be interesting. But yeah, the retail on
it says 1,300.
Whoa,
Brian says 2 coils.
Yeah, it's 2 coils.
Okay.
So but it's $9.99 from what I originally saw. Not unless that's changed. So $9.99, and there you go. But here's the thing, you know, you guys are MindLab users, so you know what's going to pull somebody over from MindLab to buy that Legend 2. You know, what are the advantages of that? So that's going to be the next thing that I think a lot of people are going to be having to sort of weigh in their mind. I think this machine is going to be geared more towards, you know, not the users, you know, people that had the Legend. Now they want to upgrade a little bit more to a more premium machine. And that's
it's
what
everywhere.
It's
everywhere for $9.99.
Yes,
with
2 coils,
with the second coil.
Right, and that's what I was told too.
Okay.
So, but yeah,
the LD28 and LD21 coils, wireless Bluetooth headphones.
Yeah. So, you know, that'll be interesting to see how many people, you know, are going to bite on that. And, you know, what do they go away from a MindLab Equinox 900 because you're getting an extra coil and you're getting wireless headphones and all those other things too. I mean, you know, that'll be the interesting thing. People are going to have to make some decisions at that point.
Yeah, for sure. When Digging Up State said it was like $1,300, I was like, you know, that's Manicore price range. I would probably lean towards picking up that, but just because of the 2D screen,
right?
You know, you get with that. So
yeah, and Dig Upstate says I like the Legend, but heavy. Yeah, the Legend was heavy, but this one is going to have a carbon graphite shaft, and I believe the weight was coming in right at 2.6, which is, you know, basically the same thing of the Manicore, the Equinox 900, and the Deus 2. They're all in that range. You start taking off the remote and some of the other things, and you put on that smaller coil, the Deus 2 even drops down below that.
Yeah. Grandma K, if MindLab wants to give me a Manicore, I'll use it. I'm not holding my breath. Don't hold your
Yeah, really.
Alicia says the Legend 2 weighs less than the Legend.
Yeah. Legend 2 will weigh way less than the Legend. The Legend, a solid machine, but again, the knock on it was the weight and the screen. I mean, and the menu system that they had. And then we sort of saw them sort of evolve with the triple score, the double score, triple score. We saw them sort of evolve to where when they got to the triple score, people said, wow, this is a great machine. We like the user interface on it. And so a lot of people went with the triple score. And
so is that what they applied to the Legend 2 then, Brian? You know?
Some of it is similar, but I think the menu system is a lot different. The icons are the same, so I don't think anybody's going to be, you know, going to be like, I don't know what that is. They're going to know if they've been running one of these, then they're going to know what those icons are on there.
Gotcha.
And again, we'll see. I'm real curious to see what their 9-inch coil is like. Like I said, I'm a 9-inch guy. I mean, I really like that size coil to do so many things. I think it's the most versatile size.
Digging upstairs, I painted 2 on the legend.
What's that now?
Digging upstairs says, I painted a 2 on my legend.
Yeah, he painted a 2 on his legend.
There you go.
Yeah. And, yeah, Digging Dude also says, I'm waiting for the Octa score.
Yeah, I see that.
Well, there's a lot of people, and Hot Mess Fishing's on here, and she's saying, yes, triple score is my favorite Nocta machine. And I think that's everybody's favorite Nocta machine. So I think they're taking the success that they had with that triple score, and they're just sort of building on that. But that's a heck of a price on that machine too, for less than $500. I mean, you know, to me it's a home run. It's one of the best values out there.
The triple score is?
Old Timer says he uses the triple score as well. Yeah, there's a lot of people that run that machine. It's solid.
Sorry, bro. I'm just trying to get caught up.
Yeah, Digging Up to Carolina says, he says, sorry the way I sent that about the CTX 3030. I was asking you, can you code it with the phone now? Oh, I don't think so, Digging Up the Carolinas, but I don't have a CTX 3030, and I don't know if anybody's got anything to actually do that. I mean, I'm not real sure on that.
I've not heard of it, but like you, I don't own it. I've never.
Well, I mean, a lot of people that have that CTX, even though it's a really heavy machine, I've never run one, so it's hard for me to talk about the CTX. But a lot of people that have that machine really love that thing out on the beach. I mean, it was a solid machine, a solid performer for them. The only thing that's really sort of curious about it is, why is it still? I think it's over $2,000 to buy.
Yeah, I think it's like $24.99.
Yeah, that's where a lot of people are like going, why would I buy that with this old technology when I could buy a Manicore? You know, so I think that's where a lot of people sort of have an issue with that. But the CTX was a great performer out on the beach. I know that. I had some friends that had it and really loved it. But it is heavy. But it does have some great features to it, and it was a performer back then.
Digging Dude says, yep. I used these CTX for years, just too freaking heavy.
Yeah, right. Digging Up the Carolina says 10-4. He says CTX 3030 is my go-to machine. Right. And the people that have those machines love those.
Built up his arms.
Yeah. Yeah, he's building some muscles. But the people that have those machines are very loyal to them. It's sort of like the AT Pros and the AT Max, you know, the Garrett machines too. People that use those, and they've learned how to. It goes back to what we said earlier. They know how to run those machines, and they're very efficient with those machines. You know, they know how to look for the things that they're looking for. They know how to set those things up, and they can go into any site and they can pick some of those sites really, really good, even with older technology, because they know the machine. They know it better than a lot of other people. And
catch you later, Brad.
They stick with it, and that's a big part of this hobby. You know, if you want to find things, learn your machine. You know.
Yes, very important, and that's, like I said earlier, that was my mistake. Is I just jumped in and dumped all those programs in without even thinking about it. You know?
Yeah. Well, you know, and I'm sitting over here talking about, you know, I've got all these machines over here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really only proficient in one of those machines, and that's the Deus 2. I mean, I like
to be doing pretty good with that Manicore. So.
Oh, I mean, I love the Manicore too now. But what I'm saying is, I don't know everything about every single machine because I've spread myself out so much too. Mm-hmm. And that's when I rely on these guys and the audience. You know, they can really give you some great information. And look, we saw it tonight. I mean, we saw some great things that were shared tonight.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it really neat.
And that's one of the things I did do teach is, like, you know, the Manicore, I like the tones on that. So coming over to the Deus 2, I wanted the tones to be completely different.
Right.
Because I didn't
right.
want to lock those numbers into the tones of the Manicore. You know what I mean? Because then that was just going to cause me all kinds of confusion. So,
Well, and a lot of people, Charlie, they think that the Deus 2 is some complicated machine, and it's really not.
It's not bad.
You can run any of the, the regular programs and not change a single setting, and you're probably going to do okay with it. But if you want more customization, then that option is there. Sort of like it's the same thing with the Manicore. You've got a lot of customization you can do. Same thing with the Equinox. There's a lot of customization you can do with those machines. Just depends on how far you want to go. Some people just want to turn the machine on and go.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of these machines like the Triple Score or the Xterra Elite or the Xterra Pro, people just want to turn it on and go. They don't want to fool with settings. They just want to go out and metal detect and not have to worry about any of that. But if you do want to customize your machine, then you can go to some of these more premium machines and you can customize all you want. It just depends. Again, goes back to what we've been saying all along, learning the machine, learning the settings, and then setting it up for the sites that you hunt.
Rary's got a point. If Charlie can use it, anyone can. That's true.
So bad.
Yeah.
Native, we were talking about that when I first got on YouTube, and in 2018, every channel was using an AT Pro.
Everybody had an AT Pro. I just got
Guru Boys had the AT Pro. Quarter Hoarder and his crew had the AT Pro.
Yeah.
Green Mountain had an AT Pro. All the big channels had AT Pros.
It's a solid machine. It's still, you can still run that machine. Again, like we've been saying, you can go out and run that machine, and if you know that machine, you're going to do really well with that machine.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about, missing something because you've learned how to run it, Old Timer 5037 says XP is the only machine with no manual ground balance, I believe. No, it does have a manual ground balance on it if you want it, Old Timer 5037. But just depends on your soil. If your soil's pretty neutral, then you don't really. I've run it without ground balancing.
You use the pinpointer on it, right? The red one on the bottom to manually ground balance.
You can go over to the option setting and you can ground balance. If I remember correctly. I don't have to ground balance, and it's just pumping the coil, just like with all the other machines. But yeah, you hold the bottom button.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, we're going to run one more race, and we're going to call it. Brian, I really appreciate you staying up here this long. I didn't think you would.
I love talking metal
morning, Tim.
And I love talking metal detecting. So, yeah, I made it.
No, we couldn't tell. We couldn't tell.
Yeah, you couldn't tell.
No, it's great.
And again, I don't know everything, and I love being on here and seeing the comments and people, giving some helpful tips to others in the chat and helping all of us out by doing those types of things. That's what makes these live streams so important for a lot of people, is that they learn things from you guys and from being here, and you guys giving a platform where they can do those types of things, and I think that makes that important.
Brian, I sit down and surf YouTube from the computer here that I'm sitting at right now a lot, and I'll go to different streams of channels I've never heard of, and I'll go in there, and it may not be anybody I know, and I'll say hi to a few people, and I say hi to the host, and everybody just keeps talking, and nobody acknowledges you're even there. I'm out of there in 5 minutes.
Right,
I joke that our Sunday morning stream is the most interactive stream on YouTube, and I'm not kidding when I say that.
Right. Oh, I know
that. Look how interactive this chat's been tonight.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And that's what I like about our live stream, is that people ask questions, people give information. We give them a platform for them to be able to do that. You guys do the same thing. And it just, it makes it fun.
I
And
mean, we
again,
try to acknowledge everybody that comes in here, especially if you're new. I'm looking at Jeremy's comment. Yeah, when you go hunt with Jeremy and he throws his gear in your car, he has a
Michael, hold
duffel
on,
bag.
Michael.
He has a duffel bag. It's like having a SWAT team with you with 20 weapons in the bag. He's got so much gear he brings with you on a hunt.
yes, and again, I see a lot of the comments, and Native Angles just said yes, the community aspect is awesome, right? And that again, that's why we do this. You don't have to, you don't have to go to another channel and watch somebody just to learn how to run your machine. There are plenty of people that can help you and assist you, or in any way, pretty much just by simply just tuning in and listening to a chat or listening to us or whatever it may be. You can learn a lot just from these types of shows.
Well, I will tell you, I mean, from my aspect, I've learned a lot going to your channel, and I might have been lurking in the beginning, just watching your channel.
Right.
Thank you, Chuck.
And people comment and ask questions, and you guys interact with them, and you guys go back and forth with information. They're giving you information, you're giving them information, and it's a great way to learn. It really
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
It's the only way to learn, and again, you guys know I'm a school teacher. So one of the things that I tell my kids a lot of times, and some teachers I do put them into groups. And guess what? When you put them into groups and have them do some of these types of things, they're going to learn more from their peers sometimes than they're going to learn from me just standing up there and talking to them. It's just like on here, we're learning things from people over in the chat. It's not all coming from us, but it's coming from the chat and from us. So it's all mutual.
Not this guy.
That's when learning really takes place.
Old timer, you have a channel. Just doesn't mean you have any content yet. Doesn't mean you have a channel. You'll get content, buddy. And you stop by, and we're happy to have people go over there and build your subs up for you, sir.
Right.
Absolutely.
I like Rocky Mountain Prospectors. He says #lurkers.
we get a lot of lurkers too.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. So,
Well, let's go on with another. We're right at 2 hours. Let's do another SRA. You guys, if we can, Rob, comment picker,
I can do that.
and we'll do this one for the fines bag and. I'm drawing a blank. It starts with a C. The yellow hand digger with the yellow or with the leather sheath.
CTX.
Yeah. We'll do that.
yeah.
We'll do that and that CTX digging knife.
Charlie, you want to type something different in, or you want me to type the SRA in again?
We'll do one more SRA. I'm so happy to have Brian up here. I mean, this was great.
Yeah. Again, guys, I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys having me on. I think the world of you guys. I love watching y'all show on Sunday morning too. So I know you guys do an amazing job. So thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate you being here, Teach.
Oh yeah.
Old timer, I gave you a subscription, sir.
Old Timer's a great guy. He's on our show all the time. Never misses. We appreciate him.
Great having Michael here, Digging It Dude, Surfside Dan.
Yeah, Digging It Dude, we got a lot of good people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see a lot of familiar ones. So thank you guys for being here tonight.
Howdy, Captain Vic. Beard stayed the whole night. Thank you, Beard.
So what's on? Y'all doing gold painting tomorrow, right? Is that what I heard?
We're going to be on there with GP and Mama Bird.
Well, we're going to try, Brian.
We're going to try. I've never even got. It's going to be a hot mess.
I hope Zach can join us because I've got Zach's gold pan he sent me in the bag, and Charlie and I are about as virgin newbies as we can be on this. So
it'll be something.
Denise has got the card table right there. We're going to set up, and We're going to move it right here. So
You're going to do some gold painting right there in your house, Rob?
well, I was going to take all my equipment out to our pool patio, but we're having that refinished, and they ran into all kind of complicated problems, so we can't use the pool patio yet.
Yeah.
The 2-day job, they said, is now on the day 7 tomorrow. Okay.
It's going to be fun. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, thank you, Miss Robin.
See what happens.
Charlie, we still have 85 good people here today. What is
Yeah.
our
You guys are awesome, huh?
what is
Yeah.
our thumbs up here? Let's see. We got
I didn't look at that.
I appreciate
91.
that, Paul. Thank you so much.
92 thumbs up, guys.
Thank you,
Nice.
guys.
Tom
You
Kingery,
guys are awesome.
I'm expecting to get water everywhere, sir. Denise has a tile floor here, Tom, so we're okay.
I'm doing mine on the deck, so the wife would kill me if I got water all over the place.
David Cannon, good evening.
So I did. I
Have you ever
have gone
done that?
gold painting. At
You
one
have, Brian?
point, I said I have gone gold painting up in the North Carolina mountains. My mom and dad took me when I was a little boy, and we went gold painting. And I mean, look for gems and gold, and that was sort of fun. I can't remember. I don't think I found any gold, but I did find some gems, some gemstones.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, I know that GP and Mama Bird, they sent Rob and I some pay dirt. It was like a year ago.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I've had pay dirt here so long, I had to go find it this week. Okay.
Jackson sent us some too, and that was probably about 2 years
I
ago.
found
It's been
Jackson.
that long.
Yeah.
Rose, I won one on Rose channel.
Yeah.
Rose Knows Treasure sent me one. So
Barry said that I believe she's saying you got 99 thumbs up. That's awesome.
come on,
Oh,
guys.
wow.
One more before we go.
Yeah, you need 100 for sure.
We're gonna run this race.
Somebody give a thumbs up.
Well, I appreciate
Love it.
everybody being here tonight. This was
Yeah,
really good.
thank you guys
I
so
enjoyed
much.
this a lot.
Well, like I
I
said,
think we
you
got
guys,
everybody in.
if you ever need a space filler, don't hesitate to reach out.
And I'd like to have one of these have both you and Michael up here.
Yeah,
Alrighty, 100.
Michael's always fun.
Mhm.
You might have to pull teeth to get him to talk sometimes, but other than that, it's a lot of fun.
He always has that tip of the week. That's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's information always getting shared out there.
Oh yeah. Hey, Michael is one smart dude too. I mean, he and I get out there, and like I said, some of the stuff that I've been sharing on here are some of the things that he and I have shared together. I mean, sometimes he's the one who comes up with some of these things, and you know, he and I just have a ball when we're out there detecting.
Mhm.
Yeah, Chuck,
And when we do these live streams.
Charlie and I have never done it either tomorrow. It's going to be an interesting morning tomorrow, Chuck.
Yeah.
Michael says, "No, I ain't." He's still here.
Old timer, we're awful happy you found us too. We do this again tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Nowhere.
on my channel, which is FL Thunder. But we're live tomorrow at 9. I'm not sure when we're going to start gold panning, but we're going to be live tomorrow at 9.
Start making a mess. You mean?
Yes. If we find a gold plate, that's just going to be a bonus. Okay.
Oh, y'all are up to 105 now for the likes.
I think Denise
nice.
has the mop sitting off here to the side, Charlie.
Oh, really?
I can't believe Michael's still up this late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael, did you type in SRA, bud?
The big guy needs his sleep.
I hope Zaxxon's going to be here tomorrow, Jared. Give us some
Yeah.
pointers.
Now you guys hunting tomorrow, Brian?
Take care of you just fine.
No, I'm not hunting tomorrow. I went today, like I said, with Surfside Dan, and we went to that 1740 site, and we had a ball. We dug some really, really cool artifacts, and got a Civil War button. So stay tuned for that video, because that video is going to be coming up. I hope to have it ready tomorrow.
I'll be looking for it for sure.
Yeah. So, and I am running the HF2, so you'll get to see that. And we just had a ball. I mean, we were able to get out a backhoe and actually dig in these old foundations. So really interesting stuff.
Oh, really?
Absolutely, Andy. We got to shop back in the garage, Andy.
What was
Brian,
that, Charlie?
you cleared it with the backhoe first?
We hunted for a little while, and then the guy
Mhm.
came up and said, "Hey, I've got the backhoe here today. I can get the guy to come out there and dig in where these old huts were." And so we said, "Sure, let's do it." And
Wow, that's an
so,
awesome picture to come out and do that for you.
oh yeah, you'll see the pictures. Well, you'll see the video tomorrow.
All right.
But the funny thing was I went over there, and the first thing I got on, it was a 92 on the Deus 2. And I know what a 92 is. A 92 is a coin. There's no question about it.
Okay. Was
And,
it a penny or not?
and it sounded good too. So the audio was there, the ID was there, everything looked great. And I mean, this is a 1740s site, okay?
Wow.
And so I got a 92. I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be silver. This is going to be, something really, really good. And you know what it ended up being? A damn wheat penny.
See, we like Wheaties here.
Yeah, but that is a high reading for a wheat penny.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny, Brian? I don't know how much you use you still use the Knoxes. Yeah, I know. I was waiting for Dalton to say something about that 1740 site. That's just we what is that? Dalton and I would give our left eye tooth for that. So every now and then on the Knox, a Wheatie will come up a 3031, which is a silver quarter. And so you're thinking you're looking for silver or big coin, and every now and then, I mean, like maybe once every 20 or 30 coins, it pops up a Wheatie, which should be a 23 signal. So it's just really weird.
I think it's due to the copper content, Rob. I think some of them have higher copper contents, maybe in some cases. Oxidation in the soil, I think, can change it a little bit too, make it maybe elevated some.
Last Sunday stream, we were talking about, I saw the headline, and I finally watched the video this week. I saw the headline on Rob Fine's Treasures channel. He had a person send him an 83 copper penny the year after they're supposed to be zinc.
Right.
And he had a 13-year-old boy that watches his channel that bought a box of pennies as when going through it, and he weighed every 83, and one of them came in over 3 grams.
Oh, wow.
And him and his parents sent it to Rob, and Rob sent it to a contact he has at PCNG, and they sent it off, and they graded it, and it's an 83 copper penny on a zinc, or, it's supposed to be zinc, and it's on a copper planchet, and they're putting it up for auction, and they think it's going to go for upwards of $9 grand.
Oh, wow. That is so cool. Somebody asked me, did I recheck that hole? I think digging up the Carol. And believe it or not, I did recheck it. And you know what else was in there with that wheat penny? A nice little size of lead. It was it was tucked in there with it. And here's what makes this even more interesting. So Mike was out there with the Manicore. He swung over that, and of course, a lot of people are going to look at the trace on that machine. He did not see a circular trace when he swung over that.
Oh no!
There was so much iron in the ground that he was getting that trace was sort of going upwards and then stretching across the screen. And I told him, I said, this is a coin. And we went back and forth on it. I said, okay, we're going to find out. And sure enough, it was a coin. So it was interesting. And then I swung back over it, and then I saw there was a piece of lead laying like right beside it almost. But the HF2 hit on that coin, because I know what that coin would ring up with that, because I was running 53 kilohertz. So again, you talk about the elevated IDs, it might ring up a little bit higher running a 53 or an 89. It would ring up a little bit higher. So yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting, but I just could not believe that it was a wheat penny. Here we are on this site, and it's a wheat penny. That happens. It really does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I could. Well,
The Hoover boys. The Hoover boys make fart noises at wheat pennies, and yet we're so excited in Florida when we find a wheat penny.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about a wheat penny, when you find wheat pennies, that means there's silver nearby. That's why you get so excited about those wheat pennies.
One time at band,
Gary.
All right, let's run this race.
Let's do it.
Yes. Yeah, and old timer's right. You're going to dig this anyway, and he's right. I was going to dig that regardless.
3, 2, 1, and go.
Good luck, good luck, good luck.
Here we go. Good luck to somebody. Somebody's going to be the lucky winner. Who's it going to be? It is J. Paul Magnet Fisher.
Well, Jay, you know the deal, buddy.
Congratulations, J. Paul.
J. Paul wins every other race.
I think he's already got this stuff too.
Jay, if you already have that stuff, contact Charlie. He'll work something out with you.
He said boom.
J. Paul's a very loyal watcher. Well, so is everybody in this room.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Some great people in here.
I went Torchy. That was rigged. Let me get this down real
All
quick.
right, guys, even though we're going to do the gold painting tomorrow, I bought some little 1 gram mini silver bars, and we're going to give one of those away tomorrow.
All right.
Great.
That's awesome, Rob. That's a great giveaway, especially with the price of silver right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a giveaway probably at the end of this month, Brian, or at the beginning of February. I was on another stream, and Miss Amanda was there, and I was saying I need to add up all the silver I gave away because I bet I gave away hundreds of silver coins last year. And Amanda goes, you know what? Why don't you make that a giveaway? Have people guess how much silver you gave away last year? And we're going to do that, guys. We're going to have a giveaway where you guys can guess how much silver I gave away last year in 2025. So start watching every video, guys, every live stream, and see how much silver we gave away. I'm only kidding. I don't expect everybody to do that, but
We appreciate you guys smacking that like button tonight. Brian,
Jeremy says
so much for hanging out
107
with us
people.
tonight.
Wow.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, guys.
thank you guys. I really appreciate y'all. I'm gonna do a little selfless plug real quick, but
Yep.
Again, come and check us out on Friday nights.
Absolutely.
You sort of saw what I do normally, but we do all kinds of things. We've got some great shows lined up coming through January. Hoping to have XP on coming up real soon. We're going to have Mind Lab on coming up real soon. I'm going to go on a fossil excursion coming up, and we're going to do a video there, and we're going to have some of the fossil experts come in and talk to us about megalodon teeth and those types of things. I know you guys being down in Florida, I know y'all see that quite often, but we're going to.
No, we got some shark's teeth here, but we don't have too much megalodon stuff here.
Well, they're going to come on our show too, so we're going to have that. We've got some great guests lined up in the coming weeks. We're also headed to Digstock on March the 5th, so we will be at Digstock. So if you got any of you guys that are going to Digstock, come by and say hey.
Now, where's that at?
That's going to be up in North Carolina. They haven't announced the city yet, but it's going to be somewhere in North Carolina, 7,000 acres. So again, big hunt. It's going to be the largest metal detecting event in the United States, according to the promoters. So we'll see what happens there, but we're real excited about going to Digstock, and we're going to have our own booth set up there. So you guys can come by and say, hey, and we would love to chat with you guys and just hang out. So, and Michael and I are going to be metal detecting when we go too, as well. So, come by and say hey, and if you see us out in the field, come by and say hey. But we're looking forward to that event.
I'll be seeing Charlie in 20 days up at Florida Hunt.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to try and make it to Digstock. I know my brother's
love to go to
going, so
one
I
of
might make it up there.
Yeah.
all right,
And-
good people. We will see you at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Well,
Yeah,
and you guys,
all right.
please go check out Southern Relic Adventures. Great
Thank
stuff.
you guys
great
so
information,
much.
Great videos. Thank you, Brian, for being here
All
with
right.
us. and-
Appreciate you guys. Thanks, Zach. I know you're sitting over there probably going, what in the heck are these guys talking about? It'll be a nut job.
Zach's the man.
He is.
Thank
All
you
right,
guys
see you
so
later.
much.
See you in the
We'll
morning.
see you guys.
Digging the treasure, oh, what a rush. We're on a mission and nothing can hush. The DIB is here to find treasures from the land to the brine. Metal detecting is our game. passion that sets us aflame. Those beats we love to hear are music to our ears. More popping up blood, and what do we see? A treasure revealed.